Normal grade shadows. Shadows in Sung Jinwoo's army are organized into several ranks that determine their power and status, similar to how hunters are ranked. The lowest rank is the normal grade, followed by Elite Knight, General, Marshal, and finally, Grand Marshal. The normal grade represents the weakest category of shadows, comparable to C, E, or D rank hunters. The normal grade is where Jinwoo's first true shadows appear. The first group in this category are the Shadow Knights. Jinwoo created them during the Job Change Quest dungeon, the same event that marked his transformation into the Shadow Monarch. Each knight fights at close range, clad in heavy armor that resists both slashing and blunt attacks. They wield a variety of melee weapons including swords, axes, and spears, making them adaptable in combat. Though initially at C-rank strength, their combat experience under Jinwoo's command allowed many to evolve into stronger grades over time. Another set of normal grade shadows are the Ice Bears, resurrected after the Red Gate incident. Originally monstrous beasts with raw physical power, their shadow forms retain that brute strength while gaining tactical intelligence from Jinwoo's control. Ice Bears specialize in overwhelming enemies through direct charges, using their mass and claws to break defenses. Together, the Shadow Knights and Ice Bears form the foundation of Jinwoo's military force, providing numbers and frontline durability for larger-scale battles. Elite Grade Shadows. The Elite Grade makes up the core of Jinwoo's Shadow Army. Shadows of this rank are comparable in strength to B-rank hunters, significantly stronger than the normal grade soldiers, and far more diverse in ability. They include both melee and ranged units, as well as specialized species with unique abilities. The first group within this grade are the Shadow Mages, also created during the Job Change Quest dungeon. Unlike the Armored Knights who specialize in close quarters combat, these mages provide ranged magical support. They can cast destructive elemental spells, apply curses to weaken enemies, and summon minor spirits to assist in battle. Their primary role is long-range damage and battlefield control, striking from behind Jinwoo's frontline forces to weaken or immobilize targets before his melee units move in. Next are the Ant Shadows, which originated from the mutant ant colony that devastated Jeju Island. After Jinwoo's arrival during the Jeju Island raid, he single-handedly defeated the colony and resurrected numerous ants as his soldiers. Despite their insectoid origins, they retain remarkable coordination and discipline. Their combat style relies on swarm tactics and synchronized attacks, making them effective as shock troops who overwhelm enemies with sheer numbers and agility. Following the ants are the High Orc Shadows. These red-skinned warriors first appeared during the Hunters Guild Gate incident. In life, they possessed great physical power, capable of breaking advanced magical defenses and contending with A-rank hunters. When turned into shadows, they maintained that same brutal strength but gained perfect obedience. Jinwoo often deployed them to guard important allies, for instance, leaving several High Orcs behind to protect his sister Gina and his friend Jinho, indicating his trust in their reliability and defensive power. Another group of elite grade soldiers are the Shadow Nagas. These humanoid serpents are physically imposing, standing 2 to 3 times taller than humans. They possess luminous blue scales, red eyes, and back fins resembling aquatic armor. Each Naga wields long pole arms such as tridents or bidents with expert precision. Their reach and flexibility make them ideal mid-range fighters capable of maintaining formation while striking over the front line. Although their battlefield appearances are rare, their strength and resilience place them firmly within the upper tiers of the elite grade. Together, the mages, ants, orcs, and nagas form the main offensive core of Jinwoo's Shadow Army, a balanced composition of power, speed, and magical support that allows his forces to adapt to nearly any threat. Knight Grade Shadows. The Knight Grade represents the next tier of power within Jinwoo's army, roughly equivalent to A-rank hunters. Shadows of this grade are strong enough to receive personal names from Jinwoo, marking their elevated status and individuality within the Legion. However, there is only one confirmed shadow belonging solely to this rank, Tank. Tank was created during the Red Gate incident. Originally, he was the Alpha Ice Bear, the dominant predator of that frozen dungeon. After Ygris defeated the beast, Jinwoo extracted its shadow and named it Tank, symbolizing both its massive size and unstoppable force. In combat, Tank serves as the army's frontline powerhouse. He charges directly into enemies with sheer momentum, crushing them beneath his weight or tearing them apart with claws and fangs. His physical durability allows him to withstand direct hits that would destroy weaker shadows, functioning as a living battering ram in battle formations. Despite his beastly appearance, Tank displays surprising intelligence, coordinating attacks with other shadows and following complex commands. He has even been shown to cooperate tactically, most notably when he teamed up with Iron to defeat one of Kargalgan's generals during the Demon Castle arc. Beyond combat, Tank also plays a practical role as a mount and transport for Jinwoo before the Shadow Monarch acquired his aerial companion. As the sole member of the Knight grade, Tank stands as both a symbol of Jinwoo's early victories and the first major leap in the evolution of his Shadow Army's strength. Elite Knight grade Shadows. The Elite Knight grade is a significant step above the standard Knight level. Shadows of this rank possess power equal to S-rank hunters, capable of taking down elite monsters and standing as field commanders within Jinwoo's army. Unlike the lower grades, these shadows demonstrate advanced combat intelligence, distinct personalities, and tactical independence. The first shadow of this grade is Iron, created from the corpse of Kim Chul, an arrogant but powerful S-rank hunter who perished during the Red Gate dungeon. After Jinwoo resurrected him, Kim Chul's shadow became Iron, keeping his original armor and axe but taking on a darker, smoky appearance. When Iron evolved to the Elite Knight grade, his axe expanded and emitted a spectral aura, amplifying both range and impact. In combat, Iron fights with reckless aggression, often charging directly into enemies with heavy swings. Though brash and prone to overkill, his destructive power makes him one of Jinwoo's most reliable frontline warriors. The next shadows within this rank are the Shadow Giants, 28 towering beings resurrected from the giants that emerged during the Tokyo S-rank gate incident. Each giant retained its colossal size after becoming a shadow, standing tall enough to rival buildings. Their raw strength and durability make them the heaviest infantry in Jinwoo's army. The Shadow Giants are frequently deployed for large-scale confrontations or siege operations, capable of leveling enemy formations through sheer power. Another notable member of this rank is Jima, the Naga boss. In life, Jima was slain instantly by Jinwoo, but after being resurrected, his shadow gained extraordinary combat potential. Jima possesses the rare ability to manipulate his size, expanding his body dramatically by channeling mana. This ability allows him to fight on par with the giant shadows and even take down one in a single strike, proving his superiority over most Elite Knight grade soldiers. Next is Kaizel, Jinwoo's Wyvern companion. After defeating Baran, the Demon King of the Demon Castle, Jinwoo extracted the Wyvern's shadow and named it Kaizel. Though less suited for ground combat, Kaizel excels in transportation and aerial mobility. His immense speed and flight capability give Jinwoo a tactical advantage, enabling rapid deployment across vast distances or fast escapes from danger. Lastly, there was Min Byung-gyu, a unique temporary shadow. Byung-gyu was an S-rank healer who died during the Jeju Island raid. Jinwoo resurrected him briefly as a shadow to use his healing powers to save injured hunters. After the mission ended, Jinwoo honored the request of Baek Yun-ho by releasing Byung-gyu's soul, allowing him to rest peacefully. Though his time as a shadow was brief, it demonstrated Jinwoo's compassion and control over the shadow extraction process. The Elite Knight grade shadows collectively form the Army's specialized strike force. Powerful, intelligent, and diverse, they bridge the gap between ordinary soldiers and the upper hierarchy of generals who directly oversee major battles. General grade shadows. The general grade represents a massive leap in power. Shadows of this level are comparable to advanced S-rank hunters, capable of destroying entire dungeons or facing multiple high-level enemies at once. Generals not only possess immense combat power, but also independent thought and speech, allowing them to communicate directly with Jinwoo and lead units of lower-ranked shadows in coordinated operations. The first and most well-known general-grade shadow is Tusk. In life, he was the High Orc Shaman Kargalgan, the boss of the Hunter's Guild dungeon. Upon being resurrected, Tusk became Jinwoo's most powerful magic-based shadow. He specializes in wide-area destruction spells, defensive barriers, and elemental manipulation. Tusk's fire magic in particular can incinerate entire groups of enemies at once. Beyond raw magic, he's also highly intelligent, capable of strategic thinking and leadership during battles. His command of both offensive and defensive magic makes him one of the most versatile shadows in Jinwoo's ranks. The second general grade shadow is Greed. Formerly Hwang Dong-soo, an American S-rank hunter, infamous for his brutality and corruption. Jinwoo killed him in retaliation for torturing his friend Yu Jin-ho, then resurrected him as a shadow. In contrast to his former self, Greed became disciplined and deeply respectful, always addressing Jinwoo with formal honorifics. In combat, however, his restraint disappears. Greed fights with terrifying ferocity, using his immense physical power and endurance to dominate opponents. His strength is so great that he once shattered the Frost Monarch's ice prison using nothing but brute force. The third notable general grade shadow is the Ant Queen, originally the matriarch of the mutant ants on Jeju Island. When Jinwoo extracted her shadow, her power proved disappointing. Her strength in life came from reproduction and command rather than combat ability. As shadows cannot reproduce, her usefulness in battle was limited. Recognizing this, Jinwoo terminated her extraction shortly after, freeing her essence. The final member of this grade is Kamish, the legendary dragon. Kamish was the boss of the first ever S-rank gate that appeared on Earth. A monster so powerful, it wiped out 99 S-rank hunters and devastated the American West Coast before finally being slain by a coalition of the world's strongest hunters. Years later, Jinwoo was granted access to Kamish's preserved corpse and successfully resurrected him as a shadow. However, because the body had decayed over time, Kamish's shadow form was unstable. Despite this, Kamish expressed loyalty to Jinwoo and regret that he couldn't serve him fully before his body disintegrated. Even in his weakened state, Kamish's existence as a shadow was proof of Jinwoo's unmatched necromantic power. The general grade shadows are the cornerstones of Jinwoo's upper army. Beings of immense strength and intelligence who can lead legions, unleash devastating magic, or confront national-level hunters head-on. Marshal Grade Shadows. The Marshal Grade Shadows represent the pinnacle of Jinwoo's army, the strongest and most loyal among his forces, surpassed only by the single Grand Marshal at the very top. Shadows of this grade are capable of taking on national-level hunters and even fighting against Monarch-class entities. They embody the full potential of Jinwoo's necromantic power and command authority over all lower-ranked soldiers. The first Marshal Grade Shadow is Ygris, Jinwoo's earliest and most iconic lieutenant. Originally the blood-red commander knight guarding the Kartanon Temple, Ygris was an elite warrior even before death. Jinwoo defeated him after several attempts, finally succeeding on his third try to extract his shadow. From that point forward, Ygris became Jinwoo's most loyal subordinate, acting with knightly honor, discipline, and absolute devotion. Ygris wields a longsword imbued with shadow energy and possesses master-level swordsmanship. His combat style is precise and efficient, relying on flawless technique rather than brute strength. Over time, he evolved from his original Knight grade to the Marshal grade after Jinwoo fully awakened as the Shadow Monarch. This evolution granted him immense increases in strength, agility, and speed, allowing him to fight evenly against high-level monarchs. Despite his power, Ygris remains humble and loyal, always kneeling before Jinwoo after battle and presenting the severed heads of his fallen enemies as a sign of victory and respect. Even the Frost Monarch once admitted that Ygris's true strength made him a greater threat than Beru, proving his standing among Jinwoo's greatest creations. The second Marshal Grade Shadow is Beru, the shadow of the Ant King who once terrorized Jeju Island. In life, Beru was a predator of unmatched ferocity, capable of annihilating entire teams of S-rank hunters with ease. When Jinwoo slew him and extracted his shadow, Beru became the first shadow capable of speech, a sign of the intelligence that comes with high-level resurrection. Upon awakening, he immediately demonstrated awareness and reverence toward Jinwoo, requesting a name and pledging eternal loyalty. As a shadow, Beru possesses monstrous strength, speed, and regenerative ability. He can fly, deliver high-frequency strikes with his claws, and emit powerful sonic roars that paralyze enemies. His sharp exoskeleton grants both offensive and defensive capabilities, allowing him to serve as both a frontliner and assassin. Over time, Beru's devotion to Jinwoo deepened into near-religious worship. He refers to Jinwoo as Your Majesty, and displays a fanatical eagerness to prove his worth in every battle. His feats include breaking free from the Frost Monarch's ice prison, killing high-ranking monsters in a single blow, and effortlessly dismantling elite opponents like Quiresha. His power rivals that of the Monarchs themselves, making him one of the deadliest entities in the entire series. Together, Ygris and Beru form the two pillars of Jinwoo's elite command, the perfect balance between discipline and chaos, honor, and savagery. As Marshal Grade Shadows, they stand just below the final rank and serve as the ultimate expression of Jinwoo's mastery over death and loyalty. Grand Marshal Grade Shadow. At the absolute peak of Sung Jinwoo's shadow hierarchy stands the Grand Marshal Grade, a title reserved for the single most powerful and authoritative soldier in his entire army. This grade represents not just immense combat power, but also the embodiment of leadership, wisdom, and unwavering loyalty. Only one shadow holds this title, Bellion. Bellion is not an ordinary creation of Jinwoo. He predates the events of solo leveling by eons, and was originally the right-hand man of Ashbourne, the first Shadow Monarch, born from the fruit of the World Tree. Bellion was the very first Shadow Soldier ever created through Ashbourne's power. His origin makes him both ancient and incomparable, a being forged during the earliest wars between monarchs and rulers. Bellion's physical appearance reflects his otherworldly nature. He is a towering figure clad in ornate black armor, with his most distinctive feature being a chain-bladed weapon resembling a segmented whip sword. This weapon grants him extraordinary reach and control, allowing him to slice through multiple enemies in sweeping motions or ensnare opponents from a distance. Combined with his speed and precision, it makes Bellion one of the deadliest melee combatants in existence. After Ashbourne's death, Bellion remained loyal to his master's memory and continued to lead the remnants of the Shadow Army. When Jinwoo ascended as the new Shadow Monarch, Bellion arrived on Earth through a colossal gate above Seoul, accompanied by Ashbourne's original legions. Upon meeting Jinwoo, Bellion tested his strength by sparring with Beru, and effortlessly defeated him, proving his superiority over even the Marshal Grade Shadows. Recognizing Jinwoo as Ashbourne's rightful successor, Bellion immediately knelt before him, pledging his eternal allegiance. As the Grand Marshal, Bellion commands all other shadows beneath Jinwoo, second only to the monarch himself. His authority allows him to oversee vast portions of the army, coordinate large-scale operations, and enforce discipline across every rank. In battle, Bellion's power exceeds that of national-level hunters and rivals the might of lower monarchs. Bellion's loyalty is absolute. He accepts Jinwoo as both his king and the continuation of Ashbourne's will, dedicating himself to protecting humanity and the Shadow Monarch's reign. In the hierarchy of shadows, from the foot soldiers to the marshals, Bellion stands alone at the summit, the immortal general of darkness who binds Jinwoo's vast army together.